From here, I would have students participate in an observational game and then a brief class discussion. I will show students all 18 works featured in the exhibition again, and they will be given 3 minutes to study the images carefully. Students will be directed to focus on subject matter and artist information. So now I'm asking them to look at the artist, the title, and the date. They may also click on the images for a description of that artwork. They will be, again, directed to focus on subject matter and artist information. Then after 3 minutes, the teacher will remove the images and ask students to write on a note card as much as they can remember from their observations. Students will share their observations with the class and compare note card responses to the descriptions as seen on the works and see how accurate their recollection of information is. They will then participate in a small class discussion. The discussion questions include: why is color important? What are the ways in which color is valued and used today in the context of contemporary art? And how might color be used to inform our experience of major events in our own timeline? From here, I would run the rest of the class. Through the end of the class period, I would allow students to discuss these topics. The next day I would introduce the art making activity, and for this unit there are going to be 2 art making activities. So the first will be based on Frank Stella's work here, and we'll continue to talk about color theory. I'll go into all my PowerPoint about color and color theory, and then we're going to talk about pattern and how pattern's used with color. And just like Frank Stella, I'm going to ask the students to choose a certain color palette, and then they'll have to explain why and how that palette is effective for what they're trying to accomplish in their work, and then how the different shapes stand out based on the colors that they chose. And they're going to create a geometric image or structure with paint, color mixing, and using these concepts to create a small works. So be small, 8 by 10 or smaller. And then for the second art making experience, we're going to use the work of Bob Thompson, abstract work of Bob Thompson, as inspiration. Students will bring in an old t-shirt, and then they will paint an abstract image on that t-shirt. And then from there, students would each take their abstract painted t-shirt and create an installation from their t-shirts. So it'd be a small group project, creating an installation inspired by the work of Bob Thompson. So 2 art making experiences. One, they're going to do a small works painting based on color and pattern. And then the second, they'll paint an old t-shirt inspired by Bob Thompson and create an installation from their t-shirts somewhere in the building. Before students ever jump into the final art making project, I would have them come back to the website. I would have them navigate to the videos tab and watch this short video with a runtime of 1 minute and 53 seconds. They would watch that. Then I would have them navigate to the audio guides tab, which is fantastic. Again, this is supporting all of that background information, setting the stage, and getting them prepared to then apply this information in their own context. But more often than not, you have to assume that there is some sort of relationship between radical gestures in art and radical gestures in the world. And that was a quote from this page here, that if they click on the Listen Now tab, they'll see that they can hear from the artist, the exhibition's curator, the scholars speak out about the works on view. So there's a whole selection of videos here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would split, 7, sorry. I would split the class up into 7 different groups, and I would have 1 member in each group assigned to one of the videos, and it'd be like a jigsaw where that one person becomes an expert on the one artwork featured in this video section here. And then students come back together into that big group and they share what they learned about the one work from that video.
Well, abstraction is the most direct route to the intellect. In other words, when you look at my work, there's nothing else there than what you see. There's no hidden.
What's really nice about here is after you click on that video, you can also pull up the transcript. And so students can copy and paste this, and they can take notes, and then they'll report back to their group. And then that way all students are exposed to each of the different videos, and it kind of breaks up the learning experiences a little bit. From here we would go back, and I would have students, scroll to the top there, audio guides. They can check out the shop if they wanted to. And then finally, the last bit of information that the Whitney puts out is they'll include any kind of news excerpts from the exhibition. And so students can just read this small quote here about the exhibition. It's a perfect summer show that you'll want to visit again and again. Its abounding freshness clears your eyes and lifts your spirits so that everything around you in and out of the museum looks clear, bright, alive, and new. So even though students aren't physically in the space, they can hear how other people are responding to that space. I would give students anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks to create their studio productions, the 2 different paintings in a sense, and then also give them some time to create the installation. I, of course, always do self-reflection and assessment with each of my units, and so I would give them time to do that. I like to do an in-progress critique where we take 5 or 10 minutes at the beginning of a class in the middle of the project and get some time to reflect on the work and give them some areas for improvement. If you taught younger grades, I think both of the lessons or my project ideas could be adapted to your grade levels, especially the younger kids. But if you wanted to utilize the website a little bit more, you could go to the K-12 tab and then scroll down again and explore for teachers. You can go to the explore activities, and you can choose something that's a little more grade level specific. So this abstraction unit features one of the works that is on display in that Spilling Over the Color exhibition that I created my unit on, and you can go through here and there's some lesson plan ideas, which is really nice. So if you didn't want to develop something maybe from scratch based on an exhibition, you can definitely utilize their different options. So museums as classrooms, classrooms as museums. You can look on all these different tabs here and create some really unique learning experiences. So while they don't give, full lesson plans like some of the museum sites do with featuring course standards and aligning to your curriculum, I think there's some really great options with this website to supplement your current curriculum and to expose students to a museum. Like I've said in many of my discussion posts, I have never taken my students to a museum. We have had gallery experiences, but we haven't had the museum experience. And so this is, I think, a way that I could really expose students to a very contemporary option. And even though we live in central Illinois, they can have this experience in New York by seeing this exhibition. Specifically, I really enjoy that they do this nice introduction here to show you, well, I can mute it here so I can talk, to show you what the artworks look like in that space. And yes, it's different when you're physically in the space versus observing it on a screen, but I think the Whitney has really taken into account drawing in their viewers and making this experience as authentic as possible. Thank you very much, and I hope that you will continue to explore the Whitney. If you are interested, they do have, let me pause this. They do have their social media links. I think you scroll down all the way to the bottom. Here's their Instagram. And so you can keep up with that. You can see there's one of the works that we looked at. Again, exhibition works on display here on their Instagram. Lots of great stuff. And then you can also check them out. Obviously all their YouTube, and then their Facebook is pretty good too. I was looking at this one earlier. And so you can keep current with what they have. There's our spilling over. Again. So they are really appealing to the masses and really focusing on hitting all those social media platforms. So thank you very much and have a wonderful day.